what's the first thing you do?
Wow, I mean, you've got to have to get, as you said, Dan, I don't think it's too simplistic. You get Timo Werner, you give him confidence, and somehow you get Kai Havertz up to speed. You give him a shot of confidence as well. But as the boys are saying, I think the biggest problem for Frank was when you're watching his side play, they were really struggling with an identity, with a little bit of DNA on what they were trying to do. I think Thomas Tuchel's got to come in with his own ideas, and whether he rips up anyone else's plan and he puts his stamp in it, he says, right, this is what we're going to do. Whatever system it might be, if it's 4-3-3, then that's the system. You stick with that, and you get the right players on board. And be very interested now, by the way, to see what happens to the likes of Mason Mount. Does he get any game time? Thomas Tuchel's come in. Does Reece James get any game time since Thomas Tuchel come in? Same as Abraham. What I would say is a quote from Hans Watzke when he was at Dortmund, the Dortmund CEO. He said, Thomas Tuchel is a very difficult person to work with. So, you know, when I was commentating on Dortmund games when he was in charge, he was a brilliant manager with really exciting plans. And I was in Monaco in 2017, and Jules might have been there. I think it was the quarterfinal of the Champions League. And Dortmund were flying at the time, and Monaco had a really bright young side with Kylian Mbappe and Tom and Lamar and sensational players all over the pitch. And I was pitch side, and we got the teams coming through. And Dortmund were flying at the time, and their best two players were Christian Pulisic and Ousmane and Dembele. He put them both on the bench, and he played three at the back, and he tried to do something really clever to try and outfox Monaco. And Monaco beat them 3-1, and then they beat them in the return leg. And it was a case of Thomas Tuchel just trying to be too clever for himself instead of stick to what he's good at by putting a plan in place and working hard and sticking with that plan.
Stevie, what's the first thing you would do if you walked into the Chelsea dressing room?
Do you know, I think everything always starts with hard work.
Right.
You know, there's been occasions recently where Frank's been talking about, you know, we didn't do this and we didn't do that. We didn't close it. And I'm talking about we didn't close the ball and we didn't have energy. Because without the very basic, and that's hard work, all the ability in the world you never see it. So the first thing he has to do is get them on their toes and get them working really hard. And once they do that as a unit, all the ability will come out. And there's no other way of doing it. It has to be from the very start, and it's called hard work.
What are the expectations from him for the rest of the season, Jules, from the Chelsea board? Is it top four? Is that it?
I think they need Champions League football, of course, financially, especially in the current context. But again, he's arriving at the end of January. So if he misses out on top four, having arrived when the team is 9th, albeit only 5 points behind top four, he won't be blamed for finishing 5th, 6th, 7th, even 8th or 9th. I don't think he will be blamed. And next season would really be when the era starts. However, he can very much finish in the top four. Again, it's a very talented team. He's a very talented coach. If things work out pretty quickly, he starts with 2 home games, Wolves and Burnley. This is two winnable games. No, there's no doubt about that at all. And after that, if you start having momentum, let's say Timo Werner starts scoring again, there's not that lack of confidence anymore. If defensively you'll be more solid, let's see, like Don was saying, let's see who he changes and what the first team selection is, the changes that he makes at half-time. But Pulisic had a very good year with him. One especially at Dortmund. Thiago Silva was really good towards the end of last season at PSG. So there's players that he knows there already. Tony Rudiger, we mentioned him before, plus Werner, plus Havertz. So I think this could blend pretty quickly if he gets the right message across very quickly. And again, if the dressing room responds to what he wants.
Don, do you think it helps him that there are no fans? Because from most Chelsea support I've seen, they're not happy with the decision to sack Frank Lampard. Do you think if there were fans, it would be a little more apparent?
What, in terms of Thomas Tuchel coming in?
Yeah.
No, I think Thomas Tuchel and I think managers would want fans inside the stadium. I get where you're coming from. I think the reception will be good. I think there'll be an element of fans watching in from the outside, not being inside the stadium. I think they'll still want their club to do well. And Frank's left on what they think is decent terms. He'll forever be a legend. It was only on Sunday in the FA Cup game, there's a banner behind the goal and Frank we trust. On the Monday, come Tuesday, he's been sacked. So, no, I don't think Thomas Tuchel will be at all worried about if there's fans in the stadium or not in the stadium. He's got a big job on. I disagree with Jules and he's come in at January. If he finished 9th at the end of this season, my goodness me, the knives will be in his back already going into the start of next season, because 9th for Chelsea from January till the end of the season
it's like Jurgen Klopp.
would be nowhere near good enough.
But why? It's like Jurgen Klopp. Jurgen Klopp arrived, Liverpool at 8. They finished 8th that season. And you know, he needed time to put stuff in place together. It's the same for Tuchel. It's not because if Tuchel arrives at their 9th and he finishes 9th, it has to be a failure. He's also preparing for the seasons to come as well.
There's no progress. If Thomas Tuchel's coming in at 9th and he finishes 9th, Frank Lampard, I would imagine, would have done better than 9th.
Oh, so for Klopp it was okay, but it would not be okay for Tuchel.
No, I'm not saying
well,
that.
You're dealing with a different group
Frank
of players.
Lampard, I'm comparing Thomas Tuchel. I'm just saying if there's going to be progress, that was I think Dan's first question at the top of the show. Progress? There has to be progress. And I understand he's coming in at January, but you'd like to think Roman Abramovich and the board and Tuchel would have higher expectations in starting at 9th and finishing there.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.